G'day everyone, I'm going to have a go at drawing the little lolly dispenser that we're going to be making. This is the first time I've made it, and it's also the first time I've had a bit of a practice with the drawing before, so hopefully this will make sense. And because it's the first time I'm doing it, I've got create new. When we come to that one, make sure you select in millimeters, and then it'll go in. Now, like I said, of course it's the first time I'm drawing it, that's not the only way that you can do it. As you learn this program, you'll probably find much better ways to do things. Sometimes I miss shortcuts. Okay, now I'm going to draw this in the front view. So I'm going to come to my views and I'm going to come to this one. So it's like a little dog kennel. So I'm going to draw it in the front view. And I might get rid of her. Just select and delete. And I might even put it in two-dimensional so that the perspective's gone. Okay, now I'm going to start with using the line tool this time. And I'm going to, if you look at your drawing, it's 110 across the bottom, but I'm going to draw it 55. You'll see why later. Okay, I've just got to zoom right in on that. Okay, there's my line. That was because of the scale, it was only a small line. So there it is, 55. Now I just want to double check that. The tape measure tool is there, so. Okay, and if you look down the bottom there, it's got the 55. So that's all right, I'm good to go. Line tool. The height, as you can see, is 190. So 190, enter that. Now I'll just have to zoom in so I can see all that on my screen. Get it a nice size. Okay, that'll do. Now it comes across this way, total of 30, so I'm going halfway, so 15, and then just join that up down the bottom there. Okay, so there's my first little surface. Now the next thing we're going to draw here, those two little holes. So I'm going to come here, draw a line up 20, type 20. Now you can't see that, but as you select for the next one, you see how it goes midpoint. So that's going to be 10 from the bottom, and then it says end point. Now I want to come in here, 15. Get a circle. And I want these circles to be radius 2. We're just going to be putting small screws through them. So just click it, type 2. And if you look down here, you see it's when you type it in, it just jumps in that box and enter it. And there it is. Now I'll just zoom in a bit closer so that I can delete those extra couple of lines. I don't want them now. That was just to help me position it. There. And while I'm here, because we're going to punch a hole in that, so I might just delete that as well. Now, when we make this, it's not going to have those sharpened corners. Now, I'm not going to worry about measuring this, but if I click into the arc, and there's one called 2-point arc, I think it's that one. Yep, that one. There. Now, you're just going to be hitting it on the sander, so don't worry about measuring it. I'll just knock the corner off like that. Oops, I forgot to click. Okay, there, that'll do. Now, when I'm going to delete those, so I could go delete, delete, but I'll just show you something. If I go that way with my select tool, see how it does a solid box, but if I go back that way, it's a broken box. And the difference is, if I did the solid box around there, it would delete everything within it, everything fully within it. But if I come this way, anything that's partially within that box will be deleted. So it's taken the two lines and that surface, so that's gone. And don't worry too much if you don't understand that, you'll work it out eventually. But I'm going to put a curve here as well, so I'll get my 2-point curve. That'll do. There. Tangent to the edge. Move it around so it says that. No, it doesn't like that one. Okay. Okay, that'll do. And then I'll just delete those two as well. Get that. Okay, now that's the thing that's common on both of these sides. So I'm going to have to stop that now. What I'm going to do is select the whole thing, get the move tool, which is the shortcut's M, and I'm going to move it. And as I move it, I'm going to touch the option button on my Mac, which makes a copy, so I can move that across. Now, if you don't have a Mac, it's the bottom left-hand key on your keyboard when you're moving it. Okay, now it's in the wrong direction, so to turn it around, I'm going to come to here. It's got this one, it's called the scale tool. And see how it highlights it, puts those handles on it. And I'm just going to drag it back the other way. Now I need it to be the same size. So see down there, it's got the scale -0.7. I just need minus 1. What did I do then? Okay, I'm sorry, I pushed the wrong button. I'll do that again. So I've come back to scale. Okay. So I select it. Missed again. Got to get the whole thing. There. Scale. Push it through, and I just type in minus 1. See down the bottom right hand corner, minus 1, enter that. Now it's exactly the right size in the other direction. Now I'm going to move it, and when I move it, I'm going to take it from a point, because then I can join it to a point. Some people just go to the middle and it's sort of, you try and line it up, but that's the best way is to take it from a point, bring it over, it will snap on. That's fine. I am now going to, I'll select outside. Now I'm going to select that line and delete it. Just zoom back a little, orbit around a little, get the push-pull, and we're using 7mm ply, so I'll just push that out, type 7, enter, and I'll come back to my front view so you can see now we've got that piece there with the two screw holes down the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to come back to the front view now, get that, and select the whole thing, and I'm going to make a copy of this now because one will be for one side and one will be for the other. So as I move it, touch the option button, and I'll just put it next to it. Okay, now one of these pieces has one extra hole, so I'm going to get my pencil. I'll do this one first, and you just snap, and it'll snap on the midpoint. I'm going to bring that up 70, enter, circle, and I want this one to be radius 3. And there's a small hole there. And tick. And get rid of that fella. I may as well just punch that. Oh no, I'm going to push that hole out. I can't do it like last time, so I'll leave that. Now for the other one, same deal, it's going to be up 70. So from the midpoint, up 70, but it's a different sized hole this time. So I'll get the circle. This time I want radius 7.5. 7.5, enter that. Once again, just remove those lines, makes it look untidy later. Now I'm going to draw a line again, one more hole for this one, and I'm going to come up 95 and across 15, circle. This time I want radius excuse me, radius 3. Yep, there. Now I'll get rid of all these lines. Orbit that around a little, and then push them out. So make sure you get the little circle to be dotted. Now you need to come back and touch the back surface like that, and same with this one, back, touch the back surface, and see it pops out in the right spot, and here, there, to that one. Now I'm just going to show you something. We're going to be adding bits and pieces to this, but that's pretty much the shape of these things. We're not going to be cutting any more pieces out of this. So what I'm going to do, because the thing is, watch, if I get the move tool, see how it just takes one thing and then really makes a mess of it, and if you can really ruin your drawing. So what we do, now that it's finished, well, that piece is finished, you select the whole thing, double click, and make a group. And you watch, see how now, if I select this one, it just selects that surface, or it selects that surface. They're all they're individual entities. Whereas this one, if I select it, the whole thing is one thing. So I'm going to make this one a group as well. And when you click it, you've got to click your cursor on the thing, make a group. And then as I move these around, it doesn't matter where I grab them, they move as that whole piece. Now, there's a fair bit to this drawing. I'm going to leave it at that for now, and then I'll make another little video shortly and do a few more steps. Okay, so good luck.